is up, Jake Paul? I would keep it casual today. Comfortable, cozy, fall weather is upon us. Thanksgiving right around the corner. Black Friday, lots of turmoil in the world, depending on how you look at it. And it's time for a nice warm hug in a fleece blanket. The playoffs are right around the corner, so that means that we have entered tight butthole time. Welcome back, everybody, to tight butthole time. I've already clinched a playoff spot. I did some math incorrectly, and my magical number thing turned out that I clinched a playoff spot in week 9. Fantastic. Tim, Sean, TJ Tatro, and Alex have all been eliminated from the playoffs. No matter how many games you win from here on out, there is no chance that you will make the playoffs. There is a chance, though, that you could get out of the bottom 4. Signe or Meg, I believe, have the potential to drop in there. Also, maybe Brennan. We'll get to that. If you look on ESPN, they have the little symbols, who's clinched playoff spots, who's been eliminated from the playoffs. Interestingly, Signe has not been eliminated from the playoffs. In some mathematical multiverse that I cannot figure out, we might need to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on this level of astrophysics, Signe can make the playoffs. Yes, the same Signe that I just spent an entire 9 to 20 minute video just eviscerating for her lack of commitment to fantasy football could make the fucking playoffs. This is completely and utterly absurd. She's quiet quitting the league as if someone is mid-pandemic getting a second job. 3 weeks left means that she would have to win out all of her games to finish 7-6, and there's a chance that she makes the playoffs, depending on how all of the other nonsensical things would have to happen. I have absolutely zero idea about how ESPN calculates any of this, but it gives her a 1% chance to make the playoffs. I have another tool that I've plugged our league into. That gives her a 4.75% chance of making the playoffs. Color me confused as fuck, Batman. I do not understand. Now that we've gotten the absurdity out of the way, let's look at the world's biggest log jam. A couple of weeks ago, we had the 5-3 log jam. Now we have the 6-4 log jam. Everybody that was 5-3 wins 1, loses 1. I believe Brennan at the time was 6-2. He's lost 2. Here we all are. Fucking everyone is 6-4. 5 teams are tied for second place. 2 of them will not make the playoffs. There's only 3 spots there for you 5, and then maybe fucking Megan. Don't get me started on Signe again. The thought crossed my mind. You saw what happened to my face for an instant. That reaction was so natural. Okay, who's falling apart? Brennan, buddy, you've lost 2 in a row. You had a great chance, especially over the last 2 weeks, to really solidify yourself as one of the top teams in this league. Now, you're here on the outside looking in. You did have a tough last 2 weeks against two teams that have a lot of playoff potential, myself and Pete. Winning one of those would have set you up like very, very nicely. I think would have guaranteed you a spot. Now things are going to get a little bit harder. We'll get to the road to glory ahead in a little bit. On the other hand, who's streaking? Megan. Here comes Lightning McQueen. 3 wins in a row to get to 5-5. She's been the second highest scoring team in the league, at least in the last week. She's currently sitting third in some power rankings that I've been putting together, uh, and that's because her consistent scoring in the past 4 or 5 weeks has all been near the top 3 or 4 in the league. She's gotten a bit unlucky. The unluckiest team in the league, actually. We touched on that in the past, and we could be seeing regression to the mean that where her scores being so much higher than the average scores of the league. As soon as everybody kind of plays enough people, then it'll come back around and she's going to get some wins. But at 5-5, she's still on the outside looking in on this big logjam that we have. So she needs a bunch of tiebreakers to help her break into the playoffs if she is to win out. There is a world where she gets to 8 wins, and I've been saying 8 wins, you're probably in. I think, judging by how this is going, someone might make it at 7. I'd be unhappy about that. So let's take a look at the road ahead, at these 5 teams that are log jammed up, all tied for second place. I think, Al, I'm going to say it. You really blew it. You had a chance to really take a stranglehold on this thing, and you just kind of haven't grabbed life by the balls. So, bad job by you. Starting off in order of the rankings, let's go with Trevor. Trevor still has the hardest road to make it, but holds enough tiebreakers right now that he's sitting in second place. Trevor plays me, Bula, and then Brennan. Pete plays Alex, Tim, and then Sean. Oh boy. Al, like I said, has had the easiest road. She gets Sean, Meg, and TJ Tatro. Brennan really needs to stop the bleeding. Big week for him with buys and everything. Gets Bula, TJT, and then Trevor. Bula plays Brennan, Trevor, and then Alex. What that really means is Trevor, Bula, and Brennan all play each other one time. So those 3 matchups between Trevor and Bula, Trevor and Brennan, Bula and Brennan, yeah, that's all of them. Those are significant. I don't know how everyone will be able to get out of this. The team that wins both of their matchups is going to make the playoffs. If any of you guys are able to win both of them against the other 2, you're going to make the playoffs. If you split them, it comes down to how many times you've beaten the other ones. If you guys all, if we get a Trevor beats Bula, Bula beats Brennan, Brennan beats Trevor, sort of clusterfuck, we're going to need some help with these tiebreakers. And at that point, I just hope that, Al and Pete win all their games, and then Megan wins a couple, and then we don't have to worry about any of these jokers again. So, the simplest way for any of you to get into the playoffs is with 9 wins. That means win the next 3 weeks. There is a scenario then where Pete and Al both can get to 9, and then it will leave 1 of Trevor, Brennan, or Bula because they all have to play each other. That means that some of them are going to lose. It's like flipping a coin, right? A couple of storylines that are going to tie up the next couple weeks. Buys, buys, buys. Or should I have said bye, bye, bye? I don't know. I'll probably get copyright stricken for some shit like that. So, this week, Trevor and Brennan are both playing, but have a lot of players on bye. Interestingly, they just made a trade that did not involve either of them gaining an advantage for this week, as all of the players exchanged in this transaction were on bye. Brennan offered me a trade, and I was like, oh, this is really smart. He's trying to trade me a player on a buy for a player not on a buy. Turns out that must not have been his motivation. And I then do not understand what he's doing. If he loses this week, then it's almost over for him. So, bye, bye, bye. Next week, Bula gets hit with the buys when playing Trevor, but then Trevor will be out without Jamar Chase. So, he's likely to not chase. Now, the bottom of our league is going to round out the season just mired in mediocrity. And I don't care enough about what's going on down there. But what I hope is that whoever it is begins the preliminary party planning. And we're going to put this on whichever one of you fuckers loses all the way. And I'm very excited for that. I'm already looking forward to it. Let's get dates on the calendar. So bad luck to all of you. Happy Sunday.